at a live video. You might be seeing my knees. I'm going to zoom in and hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Lord have mercy. This has been a morning. All right. At least I cannot be accused of being boring. But I'm trying to find my videos here. And hopefully can catch a glimpse of my own video so that I can get off of this step stool that I'm standing on. Oh my Lord have mercy. Oh gosh, never a dull moment in my life. Okay. I think you guys can see me clearly now. Hi, Joanna. Joanna, it's been a morning. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so I've been trying to film this video, what, 3 times now? Yay, it's clear. Oh my gosh, I was just standing on a step stool because I cannot reach I have a ledge where I have to put my camera, and I had tried to get away from that by purchasing a tripod and the whole 9 yards. However, today it decided not to cooperate. So, oh my goodness, I'm trying to fix my lighting and all this good stuff so that we can craft together. And of course, I want to make sure that I don't have things in the way that are going to take away from all this. So please bear with me. I do apologize. Okay, I think that might be a little bit better. So that way you guys can see clearly and no blurriness. So yeah, the first 3 attempts were extremely blurry. All right. Found some little paper pieces over here that I need to get rid of. Okay, I think we're good, right? So I do appreciate you guys being here. And for those who may watch the replay, hi, my name is Raquel and this is Paints and Glitter, and I welcome you to my channel. Thank you for being here. I am playing along with some of the crafty items that I had picked up and started stamping and coloring and all that jazz. So before I begin, however, I wanted to share, do you guys want to see another, oh, thank you so much. Do you want to see some other crafty goodies I picked up from Tonic Studios? Because I did a craft haul, and it was meant to be kind of like a collective haul, but I didn't finish it because my other items were a day late. So, yes, you know I did, girl. Absolutely, Joanna. I'm sorry, but I could not resist it. Okay, so let's take a look at those. First, oh goodness, you know how these things happen. The Tonic had the sale, the big sale. I love sharing what I love to use on this channel. So inherently, Tonic Studios has captured my heart with the creative goodies that they make. So I have a tendency to go back to those things that I do enjoy. And I went ahead and took advantage of the Craft Vault sale and picked up some items that had been on my wish list, but not necessarily on my bank list. So you guys know how that goes. But one of the things they included with the haul that I did was the apron. So of course, I'm not wearing it right this very, excuse me, very moment, but I was super excited to finally get that. I have to confess that orange is not my color, but it goes well with my complexion, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty. Oh, you were good. You know what, Joanna? I think this is the first time that I allowed myself to do that. Because in the past, I was like, no, it's okay. I just, you know, I have what I have. This time around, I was like, no, you know what? Mother's Day is coming up, and so is my birthday. I'm going for it. So I'm glad that I did. So if you saw the other video, then you already know that I got items that were from the stamp collections, which is what I'm going to be showing you guys in a minute. The dies, I tend to go for the the oh my goodness, the designer's choice dies, only because they fit both my budget and my creative style, and I can kind of mix and match them. I had gone ahead and picked up this one. It doesn't say the name. I wish the packaging. I'm gonna be sending them an email feedback just to see if by any chance they could possibly put a little sticker or anything with the actual name, because I think that would be awesome. But this was a corner die set specifically for to make corner pockets, and it was very, very intricate. So it has one here. Let me show you what I mean. This creates a pocket because it has two pieces here that are about a quarter inch. 1, 2, I mean, 4 different versions to also go along with that. Christina's, who's on their design team, she created some stunning cards using this set. My favorite piece out of this whole thing is this one right here. It's got a really adorable little scalloped edge. And of course, if you make mini albums like I do, then this is great just to create photo corners. There's one with a butterfly, the lattice, this little shape that they tend to repeat. This one that looks like a heart, and then some sentiments there. So I'm hoping you guys could see that. So there's that set. Oh, I'm sorry. The sentiments read, before I forget, on your day. So that's pretty universal, and it does have the shadow. And then this one says, just for you. So again, if you're making a gift card, wallet, or anything like that, this is perfect, because then you can use the sentiments and it'll make sense, I guess. So there's that one. There's also in here, they sent it all in one box, which I thought was great. This is not part of the vault sale. This is the latest Garden Greetings die set, and this was, okay, I have a lot of light here, so I'm unable to, okay. So, this one, let's see if it says, it doesn't. Again, there's different types of sets that you can get. This is not a designer's choice, but it's one of the, I would say, limited edition sets that you can get. And this one was smaller than what I'm used to seeing. So the here, for instance, measures under 6 inches, but it's a garden theme. So some of you may have seen this. It has butterfly, it has a little shed, it has a birdhouse, tiny little flowers, a flower pot, the wheelbarrow, watering can, and a cloud, and then this entire frame here with its own circle, and then the inner frame also has some really beautiful details. So let me show you that one separately, because it has a fence at the bottom and then the floral motif on top. And I thought that was really cool, because you don't see a whole lot of dies like that that create an aperture. And of course, you can use this in a page, for instance, of an album, and then slip your little picture behind it and have a little garden scene with maybe a small child sitting there, because this will cut into the page, but it will not cut the perimeter unless you use the matching circle die that goes with it, like so. So that gives you one option. But then, of course, if you don't want to use that, you can also use this piece here, so on and so forth. So again, giving you so many options. Hi, Beverly. How are you, darling? So this also has a sentiment that says, from my, let's see here, from my garden to yours. So if you like, for instance, last year I started growing my own lavender, and To quite a few friends, I sent a little sachet to sample the scent of the lavender plants in my garden. So this year, for instance, if I decide to do more sachets, I can use that little sentiment, and I think it would be wonderful to do that. You've ordered that? Awesome. Yeah, I think it's so adorable. It's teeny tiny, but it's so cute. And sometimes, to be honest, if you're making a small card, you don't need the larger dies. The little tiny details can add just as much, you know, to a card than the larger ones. Okay, so this particular set this was Craft Kit 31. I had not picked this up, so I went ahead and took advantage of this. Again, tropical. I seem to have been on a tropical mood because I got all things tropical this time around. The stamps read Time to Shine. Let's see here. Summer is here. You are my sunshine, which I use that phrase a lot with my oldest. And there are some gorgeous little butterflies in this set. So these are the dies. Let me show you this way, as they do when they're showing them. Border here with flowers, another border, a butterfly. There's this which will allow you to cut away that entire piece. And then it says warmest wishes, which makes sense if you're making a summery card. This one is the remainder, which it has the hibiscus flowers. Again, same kind of theme. More butterflies and then more edge dies there. So let me show you the rest of what came with that. And some of you may have already seen this, but in case you haven't, it came with that little folder. It came with the Nouveau glitters, or one of them. This one's Lagoon Luster, so if you're into green, that's a super pretty glitter there. Let's see, let's open this one up. This was the Nouveau Drop, which I'm not sure if I have this one or not. This one's called Party Pink. I do have that one. Very pretty color. And the sequins, oh, captured my heart. This one's called Fabulous Flamingo Circles. So hopefully you guys can see that. You want to see, I have that from last year. It's nice. Oh, you do have it. You want to see how it goes? Oh, you've been, you know what, Beverly? I found that, that some of these are great if you already have like a base size in mind, you know, 5x7 or 8.5x11, and then cut into that base. Sometimes it goes, you know, better that way, if you get my drift. This is a little sampler Nouveau drop called Sugar Plum, and that is a gorgeous purple. If you like purple, I think, you know, this is how they get you, because then you want to go back to the site and find that very purple. But it's stunning. If I could put that on my nails, I would. Y'all know me with the matching nails. But this is Glacier Paste in Mambo Melon. Absolutely gorgeous. If you like hot pink, that coordinates, of course, beautiful with the sequins and the drops. And then glitter marker, and this one's Wild Mulberry, so that's a little bit darker. But of course, those you can water down too, because you can use the Nouveau products the same way you use watercolors. You can add, they're all water-based, that's the first thing. So you can definitely tone them down. And then this is called Pompous Grass, and this is a mica mist. If you're not familiar with mica mist, I can show you how that works, because you can spray an entire background and get some gorgeous color. So I'm leaving that one out. And then I'll show you the papers, because of course they coordinate. The papers are this one here, Tropical Paradise, which is the smaller set. And if you don't know this, Tonic Studios does sell 6x6 paper, which is a perfect base for your cards if you like making square cards. So let me move these out of the way. this is 24 sheets, double-sided pattern paper, I'm sorry, and it's, again, coordinating with the motifs that they designed with the dies and the stamps. So you're going to see the green leaves, and let me just flip this one over because it's the same pattern. The little diamond shape there, there's a striped paper with a stronger green in the back and then a softer one in the front. This diamond one here, or triangle, with yellows. Okay, so there's that. Very soft, that yellow. I think that's pretty. And then, last but not least, in this box is the papers that came with this collection. And of course you get a sampler, because the whole idea is to introduce you to papers that Tonic has. There's that fuchsia. This is stunning. So let me let you know the names in case you're curious about them. Nope, that's my receipt. I know there's a sheet that comes with these. I may have, let me see here. I may have accidentally taken it out, so I don't think it's in here. Nope. So sorry guys. I thought it was in here and I don't see it. Nothing but peanuts. But in any case, that's a very beautiful shiny pink paper. Yes, of course, Beverly. And then here's this green. Oh my word. Absolutely beautiful. And this is the more pearlized paper that Tonic carries. And then this is their basic craft cardstock that has, it's almost like a linen weave. And just to let you know, these are heavier. This, I believe this is like a 90 pound, 80 pound, and then 80 pound as well. And then look at this one. This one, if you like leaves as I do, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. And then on the back, it's white, but you can color it with your markers if you decide to go with a different color. And then here's the gold. Very pretty for like a tropical night. And then there's this specialty cardstock, which is handmade paper. And it looks like pebbles, but there's tones of purple in there, depending on how the light hits it. And I think it is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So there's that. And I'm setting that right back in here for the moment, because I'm not going to be crafting with this today. I already had other things to show you guys. I also believe that, let me see here. Switching gears, share that scrapbook.com had a great sale going on. So, of course, I like to stock up on my adhesive. That's always a great way to go about getting your adhesive for whether it be card making or if you make mini albums. So I went ahead and got my 1/4 inch double-sided adhesive. And I have to say, I normally get the brand called, let's see here, I know it's Sukwang from Korea. I cannot recall. Score tape, that's what I normally get. This time around, I got the one from scrapbook.com, and I cannot say that there's a huge difference. I read the reviews, and someone said you get a little bit more playtime in case you make an error than you do with the score tape, but I'm always double it up when I use the dry adhesive and then back it up with wet adhesive, and I'm quite happy with it so far. So I did get that. They sent me a freebie, 2 freebies I should say. They sent me these stamps. This one's called, I don't know what it's called. Does it have a name? No, it doesn't. Oh yes, it does. Friendly Bouquets. So they sent me that. Yes, the Elizabeth Craft Design dies, just to let you know, if you're a fan, which I'm sure all of you are, they go fast on scrapbook.com. So I was really happy to find a couple there on sale, because I was just like, I couldn't even believe they went on sale. Normally out. They sent me some sticky squares. I don't know if any of you use these. I have not, so I'm assuming it's a silicone base adhesive, kind of like hot glue is after it dries. If I had to guess, that's probably what it is. And then I did pick up the Sherbet Smooth Cardstock. I wanted to compare this to the Sizzix paper. And I got this purposely to work with those floral dyes. And I am loving the color palette for sure. The paper is not extremely heavy. This is 85 pound. So I think it's going to be perfect for flower making. And of course, speaking of flowers, Elizabeth Craft Designs puts out some of the most stunning flower dyes, along with, well, she has designed, the same designer, I should say, has designed for, well, this one's by Anita Isendorn. Anita, I believe, has designed for Sizzix and for, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. I know she's designed for other brands. That's all I'm going to say. So if you see a familiarity in the flowers, it's because of that. But this is Florals 8, Florals 6, and Florals 4. I believe they're all the way up to, is it 12 or something? Okay, Miss Beverly, you need to get your stuff out and play with it. Oh, did everyone else leave? Oh my gosh. I think it's just down to you and me, sweetheart. I don't know what happened. No one said goodbye, but that's enough of my haul share anyway. And now I'm going to show you what I've been working on, which was the card. And Beverly, I don't believe you saw it, but it was this one here. And then I did make another one, but in this case, it's a little bit different because I stamped the base image, and this is again from Tonic Studios. This one was the Heartfelt Corsage, and it looked like that. So I use this larger image here. And on the card, I also use these three. The die set that comes with it will cut out the images for you, so that's absolutely perfect. And on here, what I did was that I stamped it with a water-based ink from Catherine Pooler, the base image, and then I colored it in. Now, I wasn't mindful of the fact that water-based ink will travel just like watercolor, so I wasn't too happy with it. Hi, Tanya. Thank you, Angela. Thank you for being here. So, inevitably, even though I heat embossed the initial image with embossing powder, and it gave it a nice raised texture to the image, which of course you can't tell just by seeing it, you'd have to touch it. I like to do the heat embossing, just to mention that, because it creates almost like a little barrier for your ink. But in this case, the ink underneath still got wet, which is why I'm bringing it up. So it gave me a bit of blurry lines here and there. But as it happens with watercolor, if you don't mind that, then you don't call it a mistake. You just keep playing with it. Now, what I did too was that I used some of my Prismacolor pencils just to add intensity to a couple of those flowers. And that's always a fun thing to layer up the colors that way. And what I did here was that I splattered it at the end. I did the same thing over here, only this time around I only inked it in black for the background. So I want you to see the difference there if you can. Much simpler looking than the other one, but I was able to color it in much softer colors and it didn't bleed. So to me, this is more of a crisp, clear image than this one, but there's no really wrong way to go about it. It's just a matter of taste. So here you see the other little flowers also. This one here actually stamps out as one image. So let me see if I have it I don't think I did. I think I moved on with the other set. But let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and just stamp it because I cannot have too many, right? Two images. Just going to put it on a wood block here. And I'm going to use my VersaFine because it's a nice intense black ink that works beautifully with watercolor. Okay. I hope you guys are having a fantabulous Friday. If you hear a lot of background noise, it's because my darling husband did open the windows in my studio, and I am too short to reach them. So, yeah, you're right, Beverly. It is. It's just a matter of making a crisp image versus not. And honestly, if you're not sending two of the same card to the same person, no one will ever know. You know. But if you see, look at how beautiful that stamps out, this image here. Okay. What I did with that is that I cut it and I took away some of the leaves and the little flower there, and I separated it. So I gave myself a different corner there by layering it with this larger flower, which is also part of the set here. That's that bigger one. And then on the other corner, I took the separate flower and one of the leaves that I stole from this image, I put underneath there. So you get to play around as you wish with these sets, which is what I love. And as I mentioned in the beginning, when you ladies were not here, this was on Canson cold press watercolor paper. So it gives you time to play around without having to worry about it because the water paper can handle the water. This little set also came with that. So let me, because I was thinking that sets, either 3x3 or 4x4 cards. I've got peanuts laying about. Oh, yeah. So this is one that I've already colored and cut. So if you see, let me see, it would go like that. Okay. So you see the before and after there. Okay, so that's obviously blank. And then this is what it'll look like once you color it. Now, just to let you know, I started off here with watercolor pens. And I did use the Nouveau, this one's called Spiced Ginger. And then on top of that, I used, for the leaves, I started off with Evergreen Fern. And then I went ahead and went crazy on top of that with my pencils, the Prismacolor pencils. It gave it a lot more intensity when I did that. So it's up to you how deep, you know, you go with the colors. This is, just to let you know, the same pen. If you intensify it by using a little more ink just in one place, you're going to get a darker color like that. Or if you use it very lightly, you can get a much lighter color. If you see the difference there. I think this was the next one that I was going to play around with here. So let's go ahead and do some coloring there. And these are watercolor pens. And I try to be really careful with them because I'm not going to lie, they can be messy, but they have a nib like that. And I try not to apply it directly to the paper. I will swatch it out on the side and then apply it with another pen, meaning another watercolor pen like this. And this is just a little pen that has the same kind of nib. They come in different sizes, and it just has water on the inside. That's it. So you can use that with any water-based ink. I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves here so you can see what I'm talking about. So let me just grab the green. This one leaked over. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure if this is just this one pen, or honestly, I'm not sure why that happened with that. But if you see here, maybe you can see, yeah, you can. I have a bit of ink there now. And now I can pick up as much or as little as I want with this other pen. Okay. And then it's just a matter of, you know, kind of like color by number. You can go in there. Now, what I did was that I just put the most intense part of this green kind of at the base of the leaf there, here and there, and I'm not concerned if one is better than the other. This is watercolor. And I'm also not worried if it goes outside of the leaf too much. What I'm trying to do is avoid the flower. That's about it. And I hope you guys can see this. Hello. Oh, hi, Sam. How are you, darling? Happy Friday. So I like to twirl around the paper. If you're coloring a lot of these, you can do assembly line style also, just to let you know. If you're going with the same color palette, a tiny little drop of ink is going to go a long way with this. Or this particular technique is what I should say. Okay, so I've got my base color there. I'm going to take advantage, of course, because I did say I stamped out a little bit more. But I'll show you guys what I mean, what I'm doing with this. And if you happen to color a petal of a flower in the green, don't worry, because it's not going to ruin what you did or anything like that. This is not meant to be high art or anything like that. And just to let you know, I find this to be terribly soothing. So if you're having a day, I recommend watercolor because there's no real rules that you have to follow. You just do whatever you want. I just know that, you know, when you lay one flower on top of the other, then it's going to cast a shadow, so you can kind of go with that rule of thumb. And I'm going to go on to the next one over here. And if, like I explained earlier, some of these are darker than others, but I'm not done yet. The other thing with watercolor is, if you don't have a lot of time to paint, watercolor can be for you as well, because you can let it dry and then come back to it and spritz a little bit of water on top and kind of wake up the ink, so to speak, and pick it back up again, which is not something that you can do with acrylics or oils. But if you're using acrylics or oils on a card, then God bless you. So some of you may or may not know this, that I posted, what is it called? One of those like little stories on Facebook showing some flowers from the Lilac Festival that occurs in the city of Rochester, New York, annually, because Joanne was watching my last live video, and she was here earlier, but I think she had to leave. And I mentioned that festival and, you know, all the gorgeous flowers and all that. And she said, oh, that sounds so beautiful. So I was there with my husband this week, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of video, and I'm going to take some pictures, and I'm going to post them so that she can see what it's like. And that's not even at full bloom. I mean, some of the lilacs were, but not all of them, and it was still absolutely stunning. So here's what I'm doing now. I'm going in with a softer version of the same color, and the way that I'm making it softer is by adding more water. Okay. And this is just one way to go about this. And what I'm doing is just going around the entire image here, all the way around. Now I made my leaves a little bit darker there in the beginning, but now that I'm adding this on top, it sort of blends it out a little bit, depending on how much water I want to add. But this is the technique I used for that, guys. Just going around the perimeter here. And then I don't have to be so safe with the leaves either, because it's the same exact color. So again, it's kind of like a cheater method, but it's fun. And you can do this with whatever color you want, because, and I might do that just to prove the point, because this is what's called a wash in the world of watercolor. I'm washing the paper. And I could leave it there, or I could go back with a different color after it dries. It's really up to me, but that's one technique that you can use. Oh, wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful time with your daddy. Speaking of dads, I got a call from my dad this week, and he's like, oh, he got invited by a friend to go visit the Middle East. And he's always wanted to go over there just to see what it's like and all that good stuff. And I'm like, are you gonna go? He's like, I'm really tempted. I'm considering it. And for those of you who don't know, which I don't think anyone would, my father could very easily pass for being from the Middle East, so of course I'm like, you'll do fine. His neighbors are really friendly with him, and they invited him. So he might be going to Lebanon. We'll see. If he does, I'm gonna, have a list of things that I want him to bring back. All right, so again, here's my my drop of green, and I don't know why that's leaking like that. I hope it's an anomaly for these markers. But see, it can make it darker depending on what you're doing here. Now, if something like this happens, you don't have to worry too much if you get one side that's a little bit darker than the other. Because again, this is more of a wash of color. And variety is the spice of life, people. So, all right. Okay, so you get the gist of that. I'm going to go back to this one, and I'm going to switch colors here. I might even do this one. Let's take a peek at that. And I hope you guys are okay with watching me color. Most of you do tell me that you enjoy this kind of video, but I'm always open to feedback. Now, let's go ahead and play around with, let's see here, a different color. And I'm trying to think if I should use, I have choices here. I do have, I'm trying to remember what I used before. I have my Sennelier colors here. These are strictly watercolors, you can tell. They've been loved. So I'm going to switch up my gears here and just add some actual watercolor to this. So I always keep a little bottle of water nearby just to spritz my colors. And let me put it over here so you guys can see it. And I don't want that green to go to waste, so I'm going to use that. Okay, if you have a color like that and you're like, I'm kind of done with that, but I don't want to waste it, just sprinkle some, or spritz some water on that, grab a different piece of paper and let it soak up. Okay, that way you at least get one background out of it, or two. Okay, I'm going to do the same with this piece. And again, this can be stamped on. It doesn't really matter. I could use it as a background for the very cards that I'm making now. Just play around with water. And this is how I normally craft, guys. So If there's ever a formula, it's to have fun. You are going to take up all of the room in your home if you don't have a crafty area. Just be prepared to be leaving papers everywhere. And there we go. If you happen to have one of those little trays that some people have to hang laundry, you can clip your papers onto that too. No wrong way of doing that. Okay, so now I took advantage of my green. And I'm going to go into this particular image before I die cut it with some red. And now I get to intensify this with some other watercolors. And this, just to let you know, this is wet on dry. Oh my gosh, Sam, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh, he'll be in, you know what? You guys will be in my prayers, Sam. Oh, my condolences to you, sweetheart. Will you have to travel far? And I know you said you couldn't stay too long, but I'm just curious if you're going to be, going a long way to see him or anything like that. Sorry, I just peeked over to the chat right now. So I don't know if you're still with me or not, but if you're not, you can message me on Instagram. But if you need to talk to someone, sweetheart, or pray with someone, let me know. I'm open. That's what we're here for, right? We gotta support one another. Okay. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, that's good to know. I'm happy that he's not too far away. All right. So what you see there is I just added some touches of red. It looks really intense at the moment, but once this dries, it will dry a little bit lighter. That's also the nature of watercolor. So while that one's drying, I can just move on to another. And because I still have some red color on the tip of that, I can just kind of squeeze my little marker here and create a little pool of color. And it's going to be a little bit lighter because it's just with the red from the tip of that. And then I can create a wash or just, a lighter version of that for the next flower that I color. And you don't have to be too exact or anything like that, as I said before, because again, this is just watercolor. What you don't want to do necessarily is mix a green, for instance, with a red. So you do want to keep it together with the colors that, are similar to one another or in the same color family, that sort of thing. If you do, though, it's not, not a mortal sin or anything like that. So I'm going to go back in here, color some of these. Another thing I wanted to mention is the weight of your watercolor cardstock can vary. For instance, the paper that I dipped into that green earlier are much lighter weight paper than the one that I'm coloring onto right now. So for instance, this one's giving me a bit of bleeding. And that's because of the paper, not the ink. So that's just something to expect depending on the paper that you're using. So this is a very, very, very light wash here. And again, this is just to kind of use up that ink or that paint that I have on the tip of this. Okay. And this is why it's also great to use more than one image if you're doing this. Oh, wonderful. Yes, absolutely, Sam. You know, all of this is for naught. It's lost. It's a lost cause if you can't pray and if you can't encourage one another. And quite honestly, that is the reason that I'm here. I tell my husband that, you know, this all the time. It's like, it's amazing how, you know, you get to know people in this community. You get to know what our strengths and weaknesses are, where we need help, and all of that. Because naturally, we create a bond with one another because we share what we love, and if we love our families, then that, you know, it goes without saying that we're going to, the topic is going to come up. And I know the demographic that watches my videos. We're all in the same kind of age group, a little bit, you know, some older, some younger. However, we're all of the generation where our parents are getting older. We're losing family members, you know, sometimes on a weekly basis. And so we have to be kind of prepared for that. And I'll be honest, I'm always kind of bracing myself, going, oh my gosh, when will it be my turn to be the one saying, hey ladies, pray for me, because it's only a matter of time. And but it's always such a reminder to, when you're able to, take advantage of those moments to say I love you, to forgive, to grow closer, and instead of pushing people away. I mean, I think those are just life lessons that the sooner that you learn them, the better. But sometimes the baton gets passed on to us before we anticipate it, you know, like Sam, you just shared that your mother was a spiritual leader in the family. Then, you know, yeah, so sometimes it's like, okay, now it's our turn, right? Now it's my turn at bat. I know I've got some huge shoes to fill when, you know, the day my mom goes on to be with the Lord. Oof. You know. And one of my life goals is to, you know, make her proud, of course, because of the woman that she is. So, all right. If you notice, I went on here with a different tone. However, as I mentioned before, you can do a wash on top of this once this is dry. And yes, I can heat this with a heat gun to make it dry faster. But I'm going to leave one of those little flowers. Well, no, I'll color it. You can heat it with a heat gun, but because of the nature of watercolor, I prefer not to. I just do this. I go back and forth, you know, playing around, adding a little color here and there, switching it up. And it'll change depending on how wet the paper is, how much color I had left behind there. So and of course you can mix the colors that you're using. I'm just going in with a super simple palette here of reds and yellows. And of course you saw me lay down the green already. But I thought this would be pretty and summery. And the whole reason behind making all of these at once also is to make a set. So that way when I go to make the little cards, they're all going to be relatively alike. I think I'm going to add a little more water to this color. Okay. I think all of my neighbors decided that today was a good day to mow their lawns. So if you hear that sound in the background, I do apologize. I would put music to this, but I would get all these copyright strikes on my videos, and you know, I'm not into that at the moment. Okay. But if you replay this in the future, just put me on mute. Put some nice music on. And this can really help you relax. Okay. So you get to see here, I just want to show you guys what a difference when you start layering colors one on top of the other. You really can get yourself a variety without even trying hard. I have, excuse me, I have used a total of 3 colors. That's it. And I've got this tonality on the flowers here. I've got this here. And you guys saw this one already. And I'll go back and add the green, of course. I didn't forget about that one. I just didn't want to make it all exactly the same. Okay, and here's the one that I started off with, right? Now on this one with this very, very light pink, I suppose is what I should be calling it, I can go back and I'm only going at, aiming, I'm sorry, at the petals, but kind of toward the edge of the petals now. And let that water travel or that paint travel where it may. Oh, you're very welcome, sweetheart. It's the least I can do. And yes, I pray that your father is, you know, filled with love. And like I said, if you need to reach out, don't hesitate. But my condolences to your family, sweetheart. And drive slow. I think that goes without saying. Drive slow. When your heart hurts, don't drive fast. Drive slow. Take your time. Go get yourself a coffee or a tea and pace yourself. Okay, I think I'm happy with the result on this one. All right. And I can always go back and add more, but there's no rule saying that I have to do that, of course. What I would like to do is, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna grab this one that's completely dry and let's put it on a base. So it's gonna give me time to dry all the other ones. But you guys saw how quick and easy that is. And as I was talking about the sprays, now is a good time to show you. I happen to have one here in pink, but I think the green one's gonna, the one that I just got in that one package, I think this one's gonna play nicely with that. So I have another piece of paper here, and this happens to be a different weight watercolor paper than this one. This is my heaviest one. So I'm gonna spritz this here to show you guys how that spray actually looks. So I'm gonna wipe down my glass mat here to get rid of any pink that was happening there. And what I can do here with the mica mist, you have the option of using it full on or watered down, however you want. I think what I'm going to do is actually wet my paper first, just lightly. Okay. and you don't need a whole lot. And then as far as this, I'm not sure if this is covered up. No, it isn't. So I just opened it. I can see there's some pearlescent mica there. So I'm going to shake it up. If it clogs up, I'll just open it and use it as a dropper. But let's take a peek at that color. Just going to lightly mist it here. And this has a pretty color, not too heavy. I'll switch it around like that. And as you can tell, depending on where the droplets fall, you get a heavier misting of it. It's all over my hands too, but that's to be expected. Okay. And I quickly like to get rid of, you know, any drops that fall away from the paper, only because this does have a pearlescent mica in it. And whatever it touches, it's going to leave that pearlescent color on. And I'm just dabbing it now with a paper towel. This is just optional. And then I'm going to heat set it. Okay. So pardon the sound. Okay, this is relatively dry. There's still some humidity to it, but not too much. And as I was mentioning earlier, let's see here what I can do. I was picturing these as being smaller cards. So let me take a peek here at these sets and see if there's a shape that I can use just to create small cards. Something big enough though. And if not, then I'll just go with my guillotine and cut it down. Because I don't think I want to do round cards. Yeah, let me just do it straight on. It'll be easier. This paper might be too big. Let me take a look. Maybe not. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go with a 4x4 size here. I'm not sure if this is just under 4. Well, at least I'll start off with the size, or maybe 3x4. Let me take a peek here. Nope, it's gonna have to be, maybe I should have made it bigger. 3.5x4. Let's do 3.5x4. Okay, so I've got 4, which is going to be enough to start with anyway. And And what I want is just that little spritz there. Let me show you what this is going to look like. But of course I'm going to layer it on top of another piece. If you see that, it gives a little bit of shimmer. So let me show it just like that. So when the light catches it, you get that really pretty color. Now on here, I have the option of stamping on top the sentiment that'll go with it, or stamping it right on that background. And I also have the option of introducing a different color, which is what I was thinking to do. Let's see here. To make that even more, let's see what sizes I have available here. Yeah, I'm gonna need another piece of paper, but double it up with that one. And then the sentiments here read, let's see here, for you, thank you, sending hugs, happy birthday, my friend, for being you, lots of, just to say. So because I wanted to make a grouping, I'm probably going to switch it up. Or, as always, we can always use another thank you card. So what I can do here is use the die set that came with this. It cuts out the little rectangle, and I can place it inside and have that kind of pop because it's going to be a different color. And I happen to have some, this is actually mixed media paper, but I think I'll use that. Okay. It's reaching in the wrong direction here. All right, well, let me get some rectangles. And these will be easy enough. I think that was 1 3/4. Okay. Don't need anything special for this. Grab the little baby machine. Get my rectangles, and it's up to you, you know, stamp first, cut later, however you like to do it, right? I always forget how to use this little machine because I'm so used to the my Anna Griffin. I have to remind myself of how to use the plates. I'm going to try to use this here to get my rectangles because I'm planning on, as I mentioned before, planning on making a set. So I'll get those. Go back to it. And 2 more. Are you ladies crafting today? Are you making anything special? All right. Easy peasy. Love that little thing. Let go. Sometimes sticks and I can't get it off. Here we go. All right. Got that. And a lot of green going on here. I have such a tendency to go toward that color, and I don't know why. I think it's just soothing. But let's go with this. And I'm going to stick with the VersaFine. Working on your growth book. Oh, nice. Awesome. That sounds really cool. Okay, so I like to use the little grid here, and I just so happen to have this antique stamp block that has a grid on it, and I kind of like to line up the grid with the line in the background and center it as best as I can. That's the perfectionist in me, of course. Do I always get it exactly the way I want it? Absolutely not. That one's dancing a little bit. Sometimes if you don't think about it, it works out much better. So let me just try to center that. And these blocks are probably outdated now, but these are so old. Oh my gosh. And another one. And of course, I'm only going to use one of these at the moment because, as I said, it's going to be a set. So I'm going to actually be, the rest that I make, I'll switch the sentiments. But I thought this would make a really nice, for instance, year-end teacher's gift, to give them a set of little cards that they can use. Let me just wipe this off real quick. And then, of course, the other little flowers that I had stamped, or even the image on its own. If you create a box, then you can put this on the lid of the box, and then that'll give them an intro as to what's going to be inside. I thought that would be kind of cool. You get stuck on cards. Is it the size, Beverly, or is it the layout? What is it that you get stuck on? I'm curious. I want to know. Is it the color? Is it the whole, you know, planning them? Bear with me, guys. I don't have magnets, or these on magnets yet, so I kind of want to get this secure before I move on. So as to not misplace them. There we go. All right. Got that one. Now this one measured 3 by 4, right? 4 by 3 and a half. 4 by 3 and a half. I wish I could get it. I might, I don't know if I can get away. Maybe I can get away with cutting it a little bit smaller. Only so that I have more room for the background here. Cut this one down. Yes, then the same way that you're doing your book there, you can I need to cut it this way. You can make a notebook. I used to do that. Make a notebook of card ideas, like the recipes, you know. And then that way you can refer back to them and get the ideas out of your head first, then go back and try out a card at a time or two, or, you know, that sort of thing. I find, I should say, that if I plan too much, I lose my inspiration. I think I'm going to go with 3 inches. Like that. Okay, yep, I think I like that size. If I plan too much, I lose my inspiration, so I shy away from it. Bear with me, guys. I'll be right back. You would think she had her card bases ready. So, gonna do my 8 inches here. This is 8.5 this way, so I need to do it this way by 4. Okay, I did not need a pencil. Okay. I also try to look at, as I was mentioning earlier, the size of the papers, just to make life easier for myself. Been trying to plan according to the size of the cardstock, because I've made quite a few odd shaped cards, and then when I go to make the envelope, I'm like, oh, why did I do this to myself? Okay, I'm gonna do that. cut it at 4 here. And I'm going to fold it first. Okay. And my methods are not, I don't know. Don't know if this is how other people do it, but it's just how I get it done. Kind of like to take advantage of this and line up my paper and start to gluing now. Okay, I think I can take off a little smidge here. Making, yeah, matting. That's why I say I normally would have music going on, because it can be never ending and music helps. But I do enjoy coloring so much that once it's time to put it all down on a base, I get excited because I'm like, yay, I got it done. Kind of feel like I'm cheering myself on through the process. Okay, so there's the base on that. The piece of watercolor cardstock. And of course, you don't have to put this straight on. That was another option. I could do it kind of curved, which would be super cute, but I already, you know, cut it big. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place it on top of here. And this is gonna be nice and substantial. That's the other thing. Because I used watercolor and mixed media cardstock, which is the one thing I wanted to mention, because I get asked a lot, what color, sorry, not what color, but what weight paper are you using, and all of that. And I always gravitate toward the better or hardier papers, because it does give it a nice finish. Looks more professional in the end if you're going to spend all this time coloring and all that. All right. And this paper will take on a little bit more glue, just so you know, because it is more, it is a heavier paper. But I was thinking this would make an adorable shaker also. That would be a really cute option. So here, as I said before, this is going to be, the frame's already askew, but I think it's so pretty. And then here comes the thank you, very crisp. So I can actually put a dimensional on that. In fact, I think I want it to be the solid type here. Do this. Okay. And then this will go right in the center. And to finish it off, then I can use my little drops or gems or anything like that. Let's see here. I would like to see that. I think it's so pretty. I think I want to put some drops on here now. So sticking with the green, since I've got so much of it already, why not continue on? This is called Soft Mint, and it's a metallic drop. And I think it'll play well with this. It's very, very light. And then I'll follow that up with this one called Apple Green, which is really bright. And you can do it however you like, whatever size. I think I need a little needle to help me out here. The consistency of these is different, so. Oh, are they? All right, then I think I'm going to meet you over there because I'm done with this little card. But this has been a lot of fun. I'm just going to finish off these little drops and then I'm done showcasing this one. But of course, as I always say, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. But that's one little sample of what can be done. And here is the other one, as I showed in the beginning of this video. But I absolutely love this set. And I'm going to continue crafting and making the little set to go along with this one. But I think it's adorable. You use the colors that you like, the drops you like. And at least today you've seen how you can add color in variety, whether it be the Nouveau pens or your own watercolors or anything like that, and get yourself an entire set of cards made, I think quite easily, because now it's only a matter of cutting these and layering them on other pieces of paper as I had shown earlier. And I can keep changing the sentiment in the middle, for instance, other than the thank you, and I'll have myself a really awesome set, whether to use for myself or to give away. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you're rewatching the video. If you want to pick up any of these items, you can use my links, of course. That would mean the world to me. SonicStudios.com has most of these still available. If not, if they sold out of this set, they'll have another one. And of course, they have the weekend bundles to take advantage of, the adhesives, all the rest of it. But this has been a lot of fun. Beverly, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. And of course, those of you who know Sam, who was in the chat earlier, her mother passed away. So if you want to send her a card, let me know. Or if you would like to, you can even send it to me and I'll pass it along to her. I think it would be wonderful to show her some support at this time, her and her family. And I would be happy to step in and do that, to send some cards her way, whether, you know, it be anything like this. I'm sure she would appreciate it. It means a whole lot to us crafters to, you know, feel that kind of support. So I love you guys and thank you for being here. And as I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. And thank you so much for watching. Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Now I gotta climb my ladder so I can turn off the video. Oh, someday I'll be tall, just not in this life.